Hi, and welcome to Disability Inc., Include NYC's podcast series, where we engage in honest conversations about disability with family, educators, and people with disabilities. I'm Sherelle Cruikshank, the proud executive director of Include NYC. For those who may not know much about us, Include NYC is the leading provider of training and information for young people in New York City with any disability from birth to the age of 26, as well as their families and the professionals who support them. As a citywide nonprofit, this past year, we assisted more than 16,000 people and reached more than 500,000 New Yorkers through communications and community outreach, all free of charge to our participants. We envision a world where there is love, equity, and access for all young people with disabilities. I am excited for our final version of Seize Joy and Build Community series. And today, our final guest is Lucina Clarke, Executive Director and co-founder of My Time Inc. and a friend of Include NYC. Hi, Lucina.
Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Thank you so much for including me in your wonderful podcast, informing your amazing families out there about their disabilities and giving them the training and the support they need.
Thank you. So glad to have you. So let's jump right in. Tell me about My Time. How does it support seizing joy for parents of children with disabilities?
First of all, thank you again. My Time Inc. was co-founded by my husband and I in 2007. This is about 18 years we have been providing support to parents. I say parents because we focus on the needs of the parents. We support their families, but making sure that parents receive the support, education, they're uplifted, they're empowered. We do that work so all families can live that functional life that they deserve in their community. So it's all about uplifting the parent. I always say to everyone, the individuals will always get the support. So who is supporting the parent? So 18 years ago, when we founded this organization, my background is in special education, behavior analysis, and providing support at homes to the individuals with disability. And through my journey, I met some amazing parents. And I realized a lack of support being given to the parents, where all individuals were but the parents weren't getting that support. So my husband and I decided to create this organization so we can support, educate, and uplift our parents by giving them the tools that they can, enjoy, and knowing that they're not alone is a very special place to be.
That is wonderful. What are some of the things you do with parents to help them seize joy for themselves?
I mean, first of all, they have to have an understanding of themselves, knowing that they are worthy, they are not alone, and that they can have other parents like themselves in this whole journey. Like I was talking to you before about, accountability, knowing that there are other parents like themselves who are going through this process, but also knowing that they can find joy from learning from each other.
Okay, all right. So why did you just think about even founding My Time Inc.? What was that moment that kind of led you to deciding that you wanted to start this type of organization?
Well, it's kind of a sad story. I met this amazing parent. I call her Miss B. I was working with her son, and I saw her going through so much challenges in finding the services for her son, but also challenges as being a mother, challenges of being a wife, challenges of just running the household and being by yourself. Unfortunately, most of our clients that we deal with are single moms, so dad is not as much involved. So moms are the one doing this. So while working with this mom, she became very, very ill. and then she passed away. And when she passed away, it really affected me in saying, I told my husband, we need to do something. We need to create an environment where parents can come together. They can just let their hair down. They can laugh. They can cry. They can speak. They can just come up with solutions so that they can find a very safe space without being ostracized or feeling, oh my gosh, I'm so alone. So through the death of this one amazing mother, finding the resources and her being so ill, that gave me this passion to create a safe space for other families.
Wow, and 18 years later, you're still going
Yes.
strong. That's amazing. Um, can you tell me about a memory of a moment that brought you joy since you've been the founder of My Time Inc.?
Yeah, I always talk to my assistant. She's here, so she hear the story anyway. I always talk about when my board member saw my assistant the first time, and we had an event at the park. Was a I think it was a walk, and my board member came and she saw this parent sitting there, and she said, "You know what? I'm gonna win this manicure and pedicure. I'm gonna win this for that parent because she looked as though she's sad over there." And she did. She did win the voucher, my board member, and she gave it to that one friend. I'm like, we were just joking yesterday with her. I'm like, oh my gosh, your nails are growing out so nicely because you always bite your nails. And she was like in such a space of not having that type of support and being so overwhelmed with her handsome young man, who he's 22 years old now. Because when I met her, he was about 7.
Wow.
So now to see her in this different light, see her as this amazing mom, just smiling and happy and just beautiful in who she is now and being such a creator and author, writer, and seeing her glow. That is what this is all about. My board members always say, she should be an ambassador to my timing because she has really blossomed. So that's the joy when I see our parents. She always joke, we need to take a before and after picture.
Mm.
It's so true. So I think that's my joy when I see parents walking, feeling as though they can't or they have such challenges in obtaining things and then they receive it. That's my joy.
Nice, nice. So something as simple as giving a parent the opportunity to have a manicure and pedicure to really take time for themselves, right? So what
Yes,
other
yes.
nice little activities do you do with your parents?
Oh my gosh, we love to go out bowling or go out to dinner. My beautiful activity when we enter a Broadway show, to see them all dressed nicely and all looking gorgeous and amazing. Just going to that Broadway show and just being with one another. The kids are not there. They just forming these new friendships and just hanging out. You see the joy in their faces and just having a good time. And we go bowling, we do Broadway shows. We do dinners. We do last time for the summer, we did a whole Governor's Island trip and just going through the city. And that way, when their kids are at school or in their day programs, they can do that. They can find the time for themselves. So those are the activities we do. So most of our activities are during the day, but for the evening, families always say, "Oh, I miss out." We do evening activities. We do nightly parent support groups, but even in the evening, we do game nights and do fun things that they are part of the program.
I think you had also mentioned to me about going to the gym and having tea.
Oh my gosh, we had the last time we had a whole, well, we have our parents, we go twice a month, and the first Monday and the third Friday, we go to the gym and we do a little workout. I go myself. So you know what? Look, I always say I'm a practitioner because I got to teach what I preach. And one of the things we had yoga last Wednesday, and the parents were here. And after we finished, we said, you know what? Let's just sit and have a cup of tea. Just release, relax, because the yoga teacher, she's so amazing. Sometimes in my office, I'm here, I tell them, do the breathing. inhaling, exhaling. And so the thing about the activities we do also, I want the parents to be able to use what is taught in these activities for themselves. They can be generalized, and that's how our families learn. And our children learn through generalization, so which is really powerful. Sitting and having that cup of tea after yoga, just debriefing, de-stressing, and knowing that they can use these techniques. And you talk about, how was it? Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, my body is doing things it has never done before, you know. So which is good. And that's something that they are utilizing, they can use at home as well.
Do the parents give input in the types of activities that they want to do? And how does that
Yes,
work?
yes, they do. Sometimes like pulling teachers because I think sometimes they're so overwhelmed with what they have to do for their children. Just even thinking of something special for yourself can be a lot. I'm so proud of my Denise, who is my assistant and also a parent. We'll have this bench. She said, listen, we really have to think about different things. Not only let them do, I think about it. Let's be creative. So we give them little tasks. Okay, one or two. So the summer was really good. We had one of the parents, she was able to sit down and create a whole wealth of activities,
Nice.
from the governor's island, going to the museums and different things that they can participate. Because we tell them this is not about us, it's about you finding the things that you love. And even if it's unique or different, it's something different to explore. How often you and I explore something different is like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could have done that, than being in the same thing. And that is a good thing about they exploring, and all other parents may find an activity and say, let's try that.
Okay. So you're giving them the opportunity to dare and do things that maybe they wouldn't ordinarily think about, which is great.
Right. And
Which is
sometimes we're
really
afraid to
nice.
take chances, Cheryl. We're afraid to take risks or chances, and sometimes plunging into these things. I remember we went to a spa, and in the spa had the cold, cold, cold water. Let's dare each other who can dip into the cold and get out and then go into the warm. So, which was these are things we even go to the spa, and the spa experience is so beautiful. This year when we did the spa for the summer coming to the end, the person in the spa was so nice. And I met this amazing woman, and they set up the space so nicely for our families, for the ladies, that it would just be pampered.
Do you get dads in your parent
We
as
get
well?
a few dads to come out. It's like pulling the dad's teeth. But my husband, when he does the part where the dads go out to games, that we as women will talk and do communication. Some of the dads, you may get the communication when they go to a sporting event, or something you have something in our beautiful space where they'll watch the sports, so that way they can have conversations. So we always trying to see how can we encourage the dads more. It's like pulling the teeth, but sometimes they do come out one or two. But when they are more involved in like activities to go out, that's their way of bonding.
So tell me about some of give me some examples of self-care strategies that you share with your parents. I heard you kind of said something about mindfulness, and what are some of the other self-care strategies that you share with with your parents?
One of the things, first of all, anything about self-care is your mindfulness, your mindset, gratitude. When you start to understand what gratitude means, it's just be gratitude for the simple things, even just waking up in the morning, just breathing. It's such a simple thing of talking about our own self-care. For some of us is doing a devotion, some of us is doing yoga, some of us is like, saying your prayer or putting on music. And that is so important to really document or even have your journal that you can start doing things. Because, I always say the Bible, Habakkuk says, write the vision down, make it plain so everyone can see. So if you as a parent having your journal, start writing the things you do, like when I go in the morning, I do my morning gym, get up in the morning, say my devotion, get my mind set to go work out and then come back, have my cup of coffee, do these things that can help you. One of the things you do as easy self-care, it don't have to be self-care, doesn't mean going to a spa or having to spend a lot of money. We have a nutritionist here who brings simple remedies to us also. I'm also researching how can I have a hand shell, I call a hand shell, without having to pay that amount of money. And even as you're doing your hand shell, how how you're blessing yourself or your hands as you're doing it. We have a simple recipe of just like brown sugar, olive oil or coconut oil and just different fragrance, the essential oils, mixing it together and just putting it in your hands and just massaging your hands to feel the warmth and the love and continue telling your hands, how often do we tell our hands thank you for just even being here? The simple things in life that you do. And when they finish massaging their hands, and then you feel the softness of your hands, you will want to caress and hug yourself and feel good
Right.
about who you are. And it's those simple things, Charlotte, we don't always look at that brings us comfort, brings up that mindfulness of being aware of who you are and being present at that moment, being
I like
present.
that. I like that. I like that a lot about being present. As parents, we're often very preoccupied with what we're doing with our kids, what we have to do at home, what we're doing for work, and we often are the last on the list to be considered,
Yes.
and we'll put that off because we figure we don't have the time for it. So I love the fact that you actually help them to make time for themselves and to do things. What do you say to the parent that says that they feel guilty about taking the time for themselves because there's so many other things to do, or don't value the importance of time for themselves? What do you say to those parents?
One of the things I talk about the word grace, we don't always give ourselves grace. And what does grace mean? That means stopping, thinking for a while of how you are valued because you feel guilty when you think you're not valued or worthy enough. Even I talked to Denise, my assistant here, and we all reached out. I think most of our parents are reaching to a point that, I feel bad because I cannot do something, but then I have to look within myself and see how valued or how worthy I am. And even if I stop for a minute to look at me, it should be fine. So giving yourself that grace to know that you are worthy of taking that time for you. Listen, as parents, we always feel guilty about something because we feel guilty we didn't give our children enough, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. With I would tell our parents, you are a vessel that this beautiful gift was given to. We have to realize that we are that special vessel too. And our child is that special gift that we need to be conscious of how we take care of ourselves because what we pour from ourselves goes into our children no matter what. And I always give them an example. When your child feels really off balance sometimes, guess why? You may be off balance
Mm,
without even
good,
realizing it.
good thing to think about. You mentioned that you have parent support groups. What makes your parent support group special, and why do you think that these groups are even important?
What makes our parent support group special is about people allowed to be themselves. First of all, they know they come in. We are solutionists, I always tell them. You can come with an issue, with a concern, which is fine, but you're leaving with a solution. You're leaving with something, a strategy that you can find. Also, too, I think because with me, even though I'm an executive director, I try to be just on their level as well because I'm a woman also, I'm a mother. So how am I relating to you in that aspects? Because there are some days I don't feel up to it as well, but I come out and I perform and I do what I have to do. And that's how we have to see ourselves. Yes, I may have a title. Yes, we're the co-founder. Yes, we're running the organization, but I want them to be able to trust who I am as a person and trust me as a woman and as a mother to feel confident enough to trust us to say, you know what, I feel like crap today. And I don't really want to be here because I know I have a support I can. And what makes us so unique and different, our parents have accountability partners.
Nice.
They are
Tell me more about
responsible.
accountability partners.
They are responsible for each other. So I don't want to hear someone come and say, oh, Miss Clark, Jenny isn't feeling well. I'm like, did Jenny talk to Joan, her accountability partner? I want her accountability partner to call me and say, oh, Miss Clark, Jenny's not feeling good today. Let's check out on her. And then send a group text to everyone, Jenny's not feeling well. Like we had a wonderful incident, or one of our parents, her son was doing something I think on hurt, and everyone got onto that WhatsApp and just send some love. And this one, I spoke to her. She said, oh my God, it was so wonderful. Everybody sent so much love to all of us, you
Oh,
know.
that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So the
How do
account
they pick their accountability
well,
partners?
listen, we were so funny when they were trying to fix it. I already know you. I'm like, that's not it. You already know me. Pick someone who you don't know or doesn't know as much about you and create that relationship. And it has been so amazing. We have one right now. Our mama is having her baby. So that one has given us updates on what's happening and what's
Nice.
going on. Because Mama's in labor now, right now, apparently. So it's
Okay.
having the responsibility and love and care for one another.
Nice. Nice. I like the idea of having accountability partners. Sounds like you really seize joy from your interactions with the parents. You're smiling as you're talking about it. I could feel the warmth coming out of you and having that conversation. Um, so tell me, in terms of parents feeling overwhelmed, what are some tips that you give or share with parents that are having, and we all go through moments of
Yeah.
feeling overwhelmed, right? What are some of the things that you tell your parents?
Well, first of all, I always tell them, what does this group teach you that you're not alone? When you start to understand you're not alone, that overwhelming feeling doesn't always get to you because I know I can pick up the phone and call Cheryl. When I get to that point of when this IEP is not working, or the teacher called me and said, Cheryl, your daughter is not getting the services, or we can't do it right now. And then you started hyperventilating. You're my gosh, Miss Clark, I can't. Stop for a moment. At least you have someone to call. At least you have one number to reach out to. And again, stop and breathe for a moment. Stop. Listen to your breath. I always give the reference of when the child is tantruming, and the child wants whatever he or she wants. They're screaming, screaming, all of a sudden they have that breath. That's the moment you dive in. Is everything okay? Be aware of how this situation also, when it becomes overwhelming, how does that situation help you react? How do you react to that situation? Because something's our reaction. So our parents go and say, well, oh my gosh, Miss God, they called me to me have my IP tomorrow. I said, so all you need to do, either you call them back or you send an email saying that I am not ready for my IP. I have to contact my advocate so she can be there with me. That's all. And then they're like, oh my God, because you get so overwhelmed with the systems and things around you. So
Mm-hmm.
take a deep breath first. Take a deep breath and know that you're not alone. You can always reach out. And then there's like, oh my God, I'm sorry I didn't call you or Denise, Miss Clark. I'm like, that happens. You have a lot on your plate. Work, the child, your son or daughter, your husband, the family. It can be. And I always tell them to go, me, I have a good thing, go to the bathroom, lock myself up in the night. And if you have to scream, scream. Who cares? The kids will think you're crazy, but that's okay. you know. So you got to do that sometimes. Allow yourself. And also, I think, the environment you're in and how you're doing. I mean, I love to come to when I come in here, Denise said, and she's smiling to be here as a parent who came with us. So just walking into the space and feeling that sense. We tell the parents, create your own little room, your little quiet room, your little she room for yourself. So you can close up. And if it's that when the kids go to bed in the night, take that 5 minutes and we have in yoga that
Woosah.
brush. Yeah, you gotta
Let
do
it
that.
out.
Let it out, let it out. Because yeah, I have moments like that too sometimes, sure we
We
do.
all do. We all do. Absolutely. We all feel frustrated. We all feel overwhelmed at times. So it's good to have people that you can talk to, people that you can release with, and it sounds like you've really created that environment with your parents and through your parents support groups. So what kind of topics do you talk about in your
Honey,
parents support?
we talk about everything. We started the educational aspect. Like, for example, our parent support is like, how do I deal with a situation if the teacher calls me, or how do I connect with the teacher too? So in our parent support group, we may take educational topics to talk about. We will talk about emotional wellness. How do I feel? This checking in is so important. And I love it. So now I'm like a fly in the wall. I will have Denise, my assistant, do the support group, or have someone do emotional wellness, or another parent who loves nutrition talks about how she helped her son. Her son, when he didn't speak until he was 7. What did she do? The nutritional factors, the foods you're eating. So our topics range in life, dating. I want to get my groove on. I want to go out. What do I need to do? Do I get my nails done? Do I? So we have topics that, what do women speak about, but feel comfortable and respect each other's boundaries, respect each other's boundaries, respect. We can have fun, but yet we show respect to one another. So the parent support group can be all about life, topics of life. How am I dealing with getting to be 60 years old? How am I dealing? I'm 30, I have 3 children. What do I need to do? How do I deal with looking at myself in the mirror? We do a lot of topics on self-esteem and self-confidence, because when you have a child with disability, child, you better get some confidence, honey. You better be able to stand bold sometimes and be able to stand up and speak, whether you're doing a meeting, a life plan meeting or something. You have to learn to be confident enough to ask for things you need for your child. So building all this wonderful self-esteem, making sure we do mirror activities. I mean, some of them at the beginning were like, I do that. Like, what do you see? Who do you see in the mirror? You know,
Nice, nice. So it sounds like your parent support groups really run the gamut in terms of topics, and not only about children with disabilities, but really more so around what helps them and what they need. So that's
yes.
really great, all part of their mindfulness and being in community with each other, right?
Yeah.
About topics and, sharing. I'm assuming that they share some of the things that they do with each other.
Yes. And what I
Okay.
found, that they have built friendship. Now they will, 2 or 3 or 4 of the parents will go out with their children, the older adults, because we have some older adults, and they will
Okay.
go to museums, they go to dinner, they go to lunch, they go
Nice. So
hang
they've built
out.
their own little communities.
Yes. So now when we're not around, they have created. That's one of the things we create here, is to tell a parent, each one teach one. You are going to be looking out for one another. Support. I tell them, even though I'll give them tips, you go out with your children can sit in a different table. You and the other adults sit at another table and have that conversation. You keep an eye on them. That is what I love, when they send us pictures of, without we even knowing that they have done it, send a picture of themselves with the other parents and the other children doing things. That is
Nice.
amazing, because it's being generalized, and they're using, because listen, all of us are providers, we do the job that we have to, but we want to see our families becoming independent as well.
Nice. Very nice. I love that. So what do you, Lucina, do to find and seize joy for yourself?
Well, I love my walking. It's so funny. I tell you, like, going to the gym. I haven't gone to the gym for the mornings. Like, I do my 5 o'clock class because my girlfriend wasn't well. So I don't want to wake up my husband 4:30 in the morning to take me to the gym. So what I've been doing, which I find is so exciting, exhilarating, I like to take the bus. I love taking the bus. So it's easy for me to get to work. What I've been doing is getting off 1 or 2 stops further and then doing my walking. So when I'm doing
Okay.
my walking, I'm listening to my music. Even so I'm doing my devotions, because there's certain words I say to myself every morning, certain Psalms I love, like 139, Psalm 139, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, how marvelous is his work. And when I say that, there's a joy that goes into my head, because I know I'm beautiful. I know the work that I'm doing. Also, I talk to myself about, how I speak to people, how I relate when someone calls on the phone. How should I answer? What should I do? So that is how I find my joy sitting. And I love being by myself. Surprisingly, me say I know a lot of people. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, I love being with myself. I love being with me and understanding that I'm a gift. The same, I'm a vessel. I'm a gift, and I have to treat this gift so amazingly. And that's how I find a lot of my joy coming here and working with my families. Even some of the phone calls might be like, oh my gosh, what can I do? I'll stop for a moment and say, okay, this is what I need to do now. And I,
Nice, nice.
yeah,
Do you
because
have an accountability partner?
yeah, well, listen, sometimes I have my assistant out to go tell me, she'll check in, she'll see that you look right this morning. You okay this morning? So which is fine. So look up for each other during the day. And I'm learning to get away from the computer now, take a break, move away, take a deep breath. I'm in the summertime. I love it because we have a beautiful terrace. Oh, listen, I will make a beeline to that terrace, to make
Okay.
sure I have that time for myself. And so I have to check myself and take a
Sounds like
time
you
to step.
practice what you preach with your
Yes.
families, which is really good because
Hmm.
that
You
shows the
gotta do it.
genuineness.
You gotta do it, I'm sure, because if you don't do it for yourself, how can you be a leader and you're falling apart when
True,
people are looking at you for the support you can? And it's okay
true.
to say, like, I'll walk into these today. I know you're gonna have a good day. Thank you for being here. And you know what? To show appreciation to people who's around you. It's very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you told me that you do a podcast. Tell me about your podcast.
Well, I call it Favorite Fridays. Every Friday at 9 p.m., I go onto Facebook and I talk about whether it's a verse for the day or something that may have caught my attention or something that's on my heart that I want to bless others with the discussion. So, like a conversation. And I do want to podcast with different people in different lights because I believe as women, as mother, we need to continue pampering and being kind to one another. I was reading something about kindness. Kindness is shown when you're kind to yourself. Don't show me kindness when you're not even kind to your own self. You see it. You will see it, and you will see when people have a glow, how they react to you, their whole demeanor. And that is so important. So I find my joy by sitting by myself, sitting by myself. Even when I do the podcast, I sit there and I love conversation. I tell everyone, no, join me. This is not a conversation about me. So what I did this for this season, because I'm gonna be 60 years old, December 13th, which
No
I'm so
way.
yes, way. And I made a commitment from 11/13, November 13th to December 13 that every day I am blessing my audience. So I speak to with a verse, a phrase, something positive to enlighten their day. So I do a little, not even 5 minutes, 7 minute video with a word or phrase or biblical verse to bless you for the day because people are such a blessing to me. So if I can bless you in some other way, that's my gift until December 3rd. I do it every day, but this I've made a conscious effort to be purposeful and intentional to do that. And when we
Nice.
do that, we bless others. It's
I
such an
love it.
amazing thing.
I love that. I love that. So if people are looking for My Time Inc., how do we find you?
Oh, you can just go onto our website, www.mytimeinc.org. Our phone number is 718-975-0296. Also have the parent experience on Instagram and even My Time Inc. Facebook page. You can always reach out to us even at info@mytimeinc.org where we have a lot of people connect with us, parents who want to ask a question or get some more information. And we are located at 640 Parkside Avenue, Suite 502 on the fifth floor between Nostrand and Rogers, right here in the beautiful borough of Brooklyn.
In the beautiful borough of Brooklyn. Well, thank you so much for sharing how you help not just parents to seize joy, but also how you see joy. And thank you for sharing all this wonderful information. Any final thoughts before we go?
My final thought is like we can find joy in the presence of anything. Just stop for a moment, inhale, exhale, and find your joy.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Lucina, for
You
sharing
are
your
welcome,
thoughts.
Cheryl. Thank you for having this amazing platform to share. I know it will touch somebody's life, even your family's life, or whoever hears, and hopefully that whatever we discuss and share here has brought some joy to somebody's life.
Well, that is definitely Include NYC's hope. We find ourselves working with parents all the time, and we're always giving them all kinds of information and trying to give them the tools and the resources they need for their children and their youths to be successful in life. And our hope was really that this podcast series will give them a different kind of joy and a moment for themselves. And I think you've shared some wonderful thoughts and tips. And we really hope that this touches someone. I definitely enjoyed chatting with you. So thank you, Lucina.
Thank you, Cheryl. It's always good seeing you.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.